Take a second and explain to us what your rationale and what's going on, please.
Just wanna confirm you mean me.
Yes,
Right.
he means Nick.
Oh, no, yeah, David's not, I'm looking at that thing going, sorry, Nick, could you please?
Yeah, so recently land court's been pretty active. As you're aware, once we start submitting stuff, it takes anywhere between 2 to 5 years before we start foreclosing on properties. In the past couple months, we've had 6 parcels, that have had default filed on them, which means that it's possible that they can be coming to the town's possession, anywhere in the next 4 to 8 weeks. Recent law changes have sort of required us to establish if we're going to retain the properties or dispose of them. So in efforts to prepare for these hearings and closing out essentially the end of the foreclosure process, there are funds required for our attorney to attend the hearings, do the necessary research and make sure everything goes according as it should. As the council be at a standstill in land court.
Okay.
Now, can you explain why there were 2 different requests made?
Yes.
Because that was a little confusing
Yep.
to me, and if you have any more update on which is more likely.
Yeah, so there was 2 requests I submitted for. One was for 20,000 and one was for 10,000. The 20,000 request would be for work on the current land court cases that we have, in addition to filing on 6 other delinquent parcels we have in town. For those 6 accounts, it's roughly, I believe the figure was $45,000 in back taxes to be filed in land court. A filing for one case is $637, and then to start off, you want to anticipate at least $1,000 for legal fees and research. The 10,000 request was no additional filings and to have work done on the existing land court cases, which I believe there are 16 at this time.
Is this a normal number or are we more than usual?
For the request, or
Yeah, land court, this whole process.
it all depends on how aggressive you want to be towards delinquencies. We're
'Cause I
sort
don't
of-
remember dealing with this many ever yet, so.
And didn't some of the information we get, didn't something say that this goes back, some of them go back to 1999? That's a long time not to collect taxes. Why? I know you weren't here. why?
It's all up to land court.
Land court or the town filing into land court?
So the town has a new laws, we have 1 year from when tax lien's placed on it. The last tax taking we had done was back in October, prior to the new tax lien rate changes. But the cases that aren't currently in land court, I can say there are some that are approaching the 10-year mark that they've been in court.
Becky
What
started
holds it
doing
up
a
in-
lot of this.
I
Becky
know.
did that a
What
lot.
holds it up in land court for 10 years? I mean,
Land
I
court.
think we're educating ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Land court.
So,
Land court, because they handle the entire state.
and so for every year, I would imagine that it costs us more, every year that it's in there costs more money? I would imagine it's not, it's gonna cost you $5,000 to do this property, and it doesn't matter whether we take 15 years or a year.
It all depends,
It
how clean the title is. If it's one owner, say they moved out of state, they don't want anything to do with the property, they can file a motion to essentially, that states they want nothing to do with the property, and land court says, okay, and they move forward with foreclosure, and it becomes the town's. If it's a property where the person's deceased and they don't have probate filed, then you're chasing the heirs. If some of the heirs are deceased, then it just becomes a lot of attorney fees. Trying to find who you need to contact to let them know that this process is happening.
I think I also read that these fees are reimbursable to us,
Correct. So these
The
fees
sale
are added
or-
onto the tax lien.
and they come back to us. So
Correct.
it should be an in and out.
Correct.
Don't laugh, Jen.
But-
That means
It's gonna
no.
take time.
It's not an in and out because it goes to the revolving fund.
Correct.
But if we spend $10,000, should we be expecting $10,000 back? I
Eventually.
guess is what I'm saying.
That's not a decision for me to make. That would be more of an if an appropriation gets made at special town meeting or,
Okay, but I mean, I guess, so say the town, it
Yes.
costs $10,000.
The
Does
town
the
would see the
town
money
get
back,
back
yes.
$10,000?
Eventually.
Eventually, and I understand that eventually, but
Yes.
my question was, there's about $650 in that account right now?
which account, the tax title
The tax title
revolving?
revolving? So how much is due to that? And do we have an anticipation about when?
The when to, I can't answer that because that's when each month we get a bill from our tax title attorney. It says this is the work that's been performed on your behalf for land court cases. With that report, I then add the charges to the respective accounts. The town would see those funds either when the lien gets paid off or foreclosed upon, and then the property sells.
Right.
Those are the only two times you would see it.
Okay.
If you give me one moment here, I can pull up exactly.
But when we sell the property, general fund doesn't get the money, it goes to the tax title revolving fund, correct?
The
Sale of
the
the,
fees, the
the
attorney
sale of
fees.
the sale of the property goes to the tax title revolving fund, correct?
Only the attorney fee, the legal fees goes towards the tax title revolving fund. The other funds go towards the foreclosure, I forget the name of the account, but it's like a foreclose, so say you foreclose on a property that has $100,000 in back owed taxes, that would debit that account $100,000, the foreclosure, account.
And
And if
then
there's
if
only,
we sold that said property you just said for $200,000, would we put $100,000 into the general fund?
if that property sells for 100,000, so.
200.
Recent law changes have made this a whole lot more complicated. The idea of excess equity on a property, before towns could foreclose on a piece of property and anything in excess of what was owed in taxes would be credited towards the general funds.
Okay,
Things have changed drastically, so now, say you have a parcel that has 100,000 in back taxes, insurance that you have on the property, any work that's done by town employees. Basically, you have to keep an accounting sheet on every parcel you sell. When to sell the parcel, it no longer goes to auction first. You have to hire an actual realtor and have it appraised, and then it's gonna sell for market value. So if one of these properties only has $30,000 in taxes, the current housing market is certainly not gonna have it near $30,000 on the market. So now the heirs of the property or interested parties can submit a claim to the town to have the difference paid out to them.
So those people that wouldn't pay the taxes are gonna come out of the woodwork looking for their money.
And we're
Well,
paying
the other thing to keep in mind is that once you sell the property and you recapture those back taxes, if the heirs or other people buy the property, then the property's back on the tax rolls and we're once again making money from that property, or at least covering our costs.
Theory.
Till they do it again.
I guess.
Yeah, how do we turn that down?
I don't know how to turn this on.
So I guess,
And we can, he actually can, we can see him on the screen if they turn the TV on, right? Maybe?
I don't have my camera on. Do you want me to turn it on?
oh,
or
if
is
you don't,
that-
if you don't,
Oh, we got.
there's us.
No, David, you're fine. We couldn't see the TV in the room.
You're just wicked loud.
Oh, wicked.
So.
Take care of that in
so
just a
Nick,
second.
the question a bit ago was how much is due to us in that revolving fund?
Yep, I'm pulling that up
Okay, I did.
now.
But from what he
Can
just
you do
said-
that and answer another question at the same time?
Depends what kind of question it is.
Wow.
It's my understanding that we're either doing the 20 or the 10,000, not
Correct.
both, correct?
Correct, yes.
Is there anybody like you, the select board, that has a preference for which we are doing? Or are we supposed to decide what the wisdom of one is versus the other?
I can certainly tell you which one I would prefer, but there's gonna be bias towards it, cause it's
Well, you
allowing
work
me
for
to
the
do
town,
more of
so
my job. So with those 6 cases that we can submit, that's essentially $48,000, $50,000 that we'd be putting through the legal process rather than having on our outstanding books. All of those accounts I've tried to send a letter numerous times. I try to get in touch with them before we start forking over the legal fees, just cause I should.
But the problem is there's only so much money we have in the fund.
And we know we're tight on every department.
yeah, but we can't give this up. You can't, it's gonna have to come from somewhere to do this. You can't give away this.
No, cause there's no way to, yeah.
This is a cut you both sides of the knife one.
But it sounds, if I understand this correctly, if we go with the $20,000 request, our potential return is larger, correct?
Correct.
If we go with the 10,000, are we actually missing out, or are we just delaying the process?
We'd be delaying it.
But
Carol,
eventually it all ought to come back to us.
yes.
Okay.
But we're
To
gonna
answer
have to
your
go back.
question, $24,900.
Okay.
So we're gonna come back though, Ted, in a certain period of time, and he's gonna be looking for the rest of the 20 grand.
I'm sorry,
No,
what was
'cause
that
he-
number, Nick?
$24,900.
But he's gonna be looking for the whole 20 eventually, right?
If you'd like these cases pursued, yes.
Currently-
25 in that account,
This money we're looking to take out of last year's budget, correct?
not fiscally
This
responsible.
transfer?
I'm sorry, what was that, Ted?
The 20,000 or the 10,000, we are looking to take out of last fiscal year's budget, correct?
No,
This is this year, gotcha.
So once we
Unfortunately,
spend it,
that's
it's
Which is why
gone.
you're saying there's only 25 grand and 20 blows
So
most of it.
is this 30,000 supposed to be 25 then?
I thought there was 30, I can check.
It said there was 30 left in the appropriation.
So we're looking for 20. So it would be 10.
No, he
No.
wants another 20.
So that would be a total of 50. He's got 30, he's looking for another 20, that gives him 50.
I don't have 30.
No, he has nothing.
It says
It says
present balance, $30,000.
That's the amount in the fund,
revolving.
reserve transfer line. At least that was my understanding.
And what's the balance right now then? Is that the 615?
The current balance in the appropriation is $2,100.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I must have filled out that form incorrectly.
I don't think you did. It shouldn't say said appropriation, it should say where in
Remaining.
the account, remaining in that account, right?
Remaining balance?
But, okay. So I feel a little bit better about it, Karen. Gives us 10,000.
So if the note under here, on the request for 20,000, if it says that, where did it just, under number 4, filing of land court cases is at a cost of $637.25, which is less than $4,000. So what's the 20 getting us?
Attorney fees.
So the 20 is for continuing to do the work on the existing land court cases that we have. So that's the research, the filing, the notifications, the attending of the hearings that land court schedules for our attorney.
So even to start the paperwork is the 637.25 to start the paperwork, and then things just add on from there.
Correct.
Again, sorry for all the questions, I don't
No,
think that we've had these before.
You're bringing us all up to speed, cause there's a
Yeah.
lot of questions.
If we were to say 10,000 today and revisit this in 6 or 7 or 8 months and seeing how November comes and goes with free cash and things like that, is the 6 months going to put us back 3 years, or is it just gonna delay us 6 months?
It depends where we are in 6 months, where we are financially and what our sort of vision is for the town.
We know where we're gonna be in 6 months.
Nobody does, and I think that's why
Oh, no,
I think
we
we're
know,
all-
up a creek
Well, yes,
without a
but I
paddle.
think that's, what, you know, to
So I-
decimate the
Ideally, I would
the
like to say
fund.
yes, I would like to be here in 6 months and get these moving, cause the amount's only gonna increase from the 48,000 that's currently outstanding. And assuming they're not gonna pay their current taxes as they're assessed, so it's
So
just gonna get
there's
larger.
more money is on the books, so it's not, we're just delaying, not, and it's not necessarily good to delay, cause it might do us 5 years instead of it being 5 years, it might turn into 6 years, but
So,
when in our
Then
current
again, it's been on
situation.
the books since 1999.
So
and
what's the rush?
Right, 6 months.
well, alright, I guess my question is, and maybe this should be right in front of me, but what account is it coming from?
It's coming from the transfers, the reserve fund. From the reserve fund that's been appropriated for.
That's the one that we're in control of, it's $25,000 for this year.
So we spent 20 of it, we got 5 for the rest of the year.
But we already know that they're short here in the library for utilities, public safety building's gonna be short in utilities, and God only knows whatever else is gonna be short.
So,
But for that stuff, I mean, free cash will settle too, so we'll have, there'll be
I
extra
guess
free
what my-
cash.
I guess my concern is, just like thinking out loud here, guys, is we can transfer money back into that if we have to. We can't, we can do it at a town meeting? We can do a transfer from another, somehow, I don't know, well, talk me off the cliff here, but why would we stop Nick from proceeding to get the most amount of money that he can get? When we would only have $10,000 left. Understood. What else? I think that the benefits outweigh.
We're not gonna get that money from land court anytime soon. And he already said that, it takes a long time to get this. We're not gonna see that, he won't even say that we're gonna get it within the next 12 months.
I think something more like 5 years.
So delaying this 6 to 8 months isn't really hurting us financially. Now, we just delay it another 6 or 8 months.
So let me ask another question, are there bills that we can't pay unless you get some of this?
Not right now.
Not right now, okay. When would that happen? A guesstimate on,
Could happen at the end of August if cases start moving. It's
so
tough to tell.
that's another thing, it's like a catch-22, if we move quick cases forward, we start incurring other costs that up the bill. So it's like,
We're damned if we do, we damned if we
kind of
don't.
feels like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying about the double-edged sword, right? No matter what we do here. Now, the only other thing I could say, that if we think we wanna hold 20 back, because we only have 30 or 25?
25.
25, I keep saying 30. If we take that out of there in July or August, we see that we need more, we can come back and do this before. I'd rather him be, I don't know what we're gonna use the money for right now, but if things start moving quick, Nick can certainly come back to us at any one of our multiple meetings and get more money. And I wouldn't, you know, I'm not gonna hold it back if he says, hey, guys, we're at a point where we need another that other rest of that 10 grand. Personally, I'm not opposed to him coming back and doing that, but I think what we're trying to do is have a little bit of a bank account to hope that we're not gonna need it, but we gotta reserve it. But I think we gotta realistically know that he may come back, and I would like him to come back as quickly as possible if he feels the need. You know, if it's going in the right direction, and yeah, don't come in at the last second, do it as quick as you can, but
So
that's
you're,
just daring.
so you're saying give him the,
Give him the 10 right now, with the stipulation that everybody in the room here knows that he may be back by August, or if things start moving in the right direction, or maybe, hopefully even sooner. You know, whatever, I doubt it, but maybe, and we'll just have to do something like that.
Or we wait 4 months to when free cash is certified and put it as a article.
If we
At that
can
way.
make it that far, that would be a great idea.
Because if we can hold off for the 4 months until free cash is certified, we can put it on the warrant and vote it there. And then we have the ability through the reserve fund to be able to help faster. Because otherwise, if things are coming short, we might be in bigger problems.
I don't have a problem with that. Whenever we feel the need to ring the bell, I think we should ring the bell. And if we can make it till free cash, that'll be perfect.
I think, go ahead, Ted.
It's probably important that we make sure that this $30,000 number
You can,
is either correct or changed.
so yeah, as Karen said, there's 25,000 in the reserve account. The current tax title account has $2,100 on it. I had filled out the form incorrectly.
Okay, so we just should make sure that that's correct. What is the significance of this parcel that we have some
another-
information on?
It's
Another issue,
Yes.
okay.
So I think another way that, I mean, I'm not trying to kibosh anything. I guess I'm just, if there's $2,000 in the account, he doesn't have bills that he can't pay yet, do we even wait a couple of months
on the whole thing?
on the whole thing? I mean, everything's so tight that it was on my to-do to talk tonight, is to perhaps start paying bills instead of rounding things up. Everything's gonna be so tight that even $200, $300 could make a difference. And this isn't anything but the legal ended up, if we had done that for 26, and we had appropriated or said, you know, the transfer could be whatever we rounded it up to be, and it only cost $3,000 less, that money is not available to somebody that might need it, because it can't go back into the fund, it has to go then to free cash.
The
So-
only thing I don't wanna do, and I agree with you, I don't wanna do is any way inhibit his process.
Absolutely.
And if he said there wasn't any, if he said I got bills worth such and such right now, I would feel different. I agree with what you're saying, but I mean,
Can we lower this amount? Could we say, put the request to 5,000 to allow him to give a little, you know, cause he's got 2,100, so, or even another 2,000 would give him enough to file the court cases. And get it through, and then knowing that he comes back
It's
to
like
us.
$3,900 to file
Right.
those 6, but do you have more than 6 or is that?
I mean, there's more, so the way I determine which parcels to file for is based off their balances and how long they've been outstanding. That's how to start, and due to the cost, we're not just gonna file everyone that's eligible, just cause you try to get in touch with the people first. If it's only $100, we're not gonna file for $600,
It's not worth that.
right? So to answer your question, there's a lot more that can be filed on. I'm just starting with the highest balances.
so Nick, if we were to compromise somewhere between the 10,000 and 0, what would you, I guess, give me a number between 10 and 0 that you'll smile when you leave here and go, look.
In the
What?
brand new car.
So.
I know it's
My
a-
follow-up question would be, what work would want to get that, those funds would most likely go towards the current cases. Because the filing fee alone is the $637.25. That doesn't include the cost of the attorneys getting the files ready, and the research they have to do to make sure the taking was done correctly, the assessed owner is correct, and any follow-up research they have to do on it.
So when you file, you trigger the expenditure of more money in legal fees.
Yes.
So just to give you enough to cover the $635 is silly, because you then are gonna get hit with more legal fee bills that triggers.
But how
The
quickly?
$637.25 is just to hit submit to land court.
So from the time you file, and I know it's just because we're tight, and I know this, we need to spend it at some point. But from the time you file to the time the attorneys start actually looking at these cases, how long is it usually? I mean, you're talking
Falls
2
on how
weeks?
quick land court moves. So you submit a case to land court, first thing that happens is a certified letter gets sent to the heirs telling them that there's been a case submitted to land court. They have the option to answer. If they answer within the given month, they can have their own attorneys represent them. And then a hearing would be scheduled between the two attorneys. And if they have, they can essentially defend why the taxes haven't been paid. Again, it's all really how fast land court moves and scheduling.
So to push this off for 4 months, till free cash is certified, to get the $20,000, is that gonna be a huge disappointment for you?
It's understandable as to why. At the end, it does sort of inhibit my ability to do what I'm supposed to.
Okay,
But given the current circumstances, it's,
I guess I would make, would love to hear a motion for, let's say, $5,000. But
he said that's only gonna go to the current cases, it's not gonna help us push forward.
we'll keep them moving.
Can I ask another question?
Just let me finish one thing, and then you're next. And then have Tamika fix this whole, the 5, the 30 to 25, and then I'll go sign it. That would be my idea. I'd love to do that and just get it moving. And it would give us $20,000 in the reserve account to keep his motion going in the spirit of what he's trying to do. And it still saves 20 grand. Ted?
You just made a statement, Nick, that sometimes there's properties that may owe $100 and sometimes there's properties that own significant amounts of money. You know that now? The ones you're planning to chase are worthwhile chasing? They're not the $100 ones?
they're not the $100 ones.
So
The balance of the ones that I'm looking to file, the 6 filings total $48,919. So on average, that's a little over 8 grand.
Darren, I just wanted to point out that Ludwig, I don't know if you saw him, is on Zoom.
Yep. Hey, bud. Do you have anything to add to it, or you just, if you'd like to?
Yeah, I think what I was going to add to this is that the 30-day time frame, right? So when we file the case, there's a 30-day time frame for them to respond, and then there probably is another 30 days that we have to respond in. So it sort of says that we should be making sure that he has all of his arrows that he needs about 60 days before free cash. Does that make sense, or am I not thinking about it correctly?
No, I think.
So we can kick this can down the road a little bit for now and follow your plan, Darren, which I agree with. And then, make sure we come back to this about 60 days before certifying free cash.
And make sure that Nick knows.
And make sure that he has everything he needs to file and go forward at that point in time, so that we will not be delayed in our or that he won't be delayed in his work from a legal fee standpoint.
And if for any reason, Nick, I promise you, you gotta promise me you'll come back and wave the flag and say, hey, it's things are in the state of Massachusetts are moving faster and we can do X. Please do, because we're just trying to be careful that we're not overextending ourselves because it's gonna be tight. We're not trying to by any means limit what you're doing. I want that perfectly known clearly. Nobody here is trying to do that to you. So I would, in the group, and is there any more discussion on this, or could anybody entertain a motion as for the $5,000 that I suggested, and we can move this along, and that would leave us $20,000 in the account. And what I would do is, in your motion, please include that this paperwork will be straightened out, and I'll go over and sign it as the chairman of the Board of Selectmen when it's all straightened out and verify that. Yeah, Board of Selectmen, ooh, that was scary. That isn't happening anytime soon.
I was like,
Wow, promoted just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
I was like, you didn't
Trade
trade
with you.
that.
I'm not even gonna, no, Jen, we're not gonna trade.
You ran a very lean campaign.
Very quietly, Ludwig. It was very under the,
I'll make that motion just as you
okay,
said it.
perfect.
Second.
All right, we have a motion made and seconded. Have you been able to copy all that down, Tamika? All right, so then we're gonna change the number to 5,000.
Why again? Why not just the 10,000?
Just
Just to give us wiggle room, I think.
a little wiggle room.
Can't get it back, and we're gonna meet plenty often to be able to cover any gaps.
We can have discussion about it right now, Ted. I'm not opposed to 10.
I
People that have been here a lot longer than me and have a little more wisdom about saving money think that we should hold off to 5. So
Only 3 weeks into the new fiscal year.
I think the biggest thing is like Ludwig said what I said, we can't get it back. Once we transfer it, it's done.
but it can certainly come back to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we have a motion made and seconded. Do we have any more discussion? I'd like to have a simple,
No, we can't. We have to take roll
You have
call.
to take.
well, we have to take roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right, no, don't worry. Karen,
Okay.
Ted,
Purcell, aye.
Ludwig,
Haber, aye.
Carol.
Last name.
Winnica, aye.
Okay, and Ross, aye. So it was unanimously carried.
No, she said no.
Karen said no, I'm sorry. It was,
One abstain, one nay,
One
and
nay.
everybody else is
Yeah.
fine, so it passes.
yes, it passed, but I'm just trying to make sure the count is right. We're good. And Tamika, maybe Monday afternoon I could come up?
Yep, Nick's gonna email me the corrected form and I'll have it in my office for you whenever you can.
Perfect, Monday, yeah, cause you're not working tomorrow, you guys,
Yeah, we're closed tomorrow.
yeah, you're closed tomorrow, but Monday I can make a point of coming over.
Good to me.
All right, I have no problem with that. All right. We would like to, the next thing, Nick, while you're still here, and I know, don't be disappointed, bud, we're not trying to do that yet. Is there anything we need to talk about on, related to 150 Main Street? Whatever the number is down there. How do we wanna negotiate that little,
Can we talk about this in open meeting? We can't talk about this.
It's included in our.
I don't believe you can if it's not on the agenda specifically.
Well, we can, because it's, we have at the bottom, it says that we could, anything not anticipated could be talked about, but it's a
Anything that
confidential.
could not be reasonably anticipated with a 48-hour lead time.
And we
so I
don't-
guess my question to everybody is, why is this confidential? could you explain to the crowd why this is confidential, and I'm not gonna give any more than that information on that,
Whether you're foreclosing on a property, you're taking someone's home.
okay? And that, in the state of Massachusetts, is confidential,
It's my understanding.
okay, perfect. You do a good job of what you do, and I'm not gonna question it.
Is this gonna become number 7,
Or is that already?
or is it one of the 6 already?
That's already in there.
Okay,
Already there, I got you.
alright, so we're gonna just dance away from this subject. And danced in and danced out of this, we're gonna stay above the boards. Next agenda item was to talk about the finance committee bylaw, the new one. And, see if we have, everybody in the room has an understanding of what it means as our group. Thank you, Nick. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Appreciate it. So, does anybody wanna start with it? Karen, I know you have an opinion.
Nope.
No?
Nope, I can just tell you that what was done last year per this was not done right.
And
Town administrator shall be responsible to the select board for the administration of town affairs and all matters not otherwise provided for by law. Town administrator shall be responsible for the town's operating budget, constructing the budget with input from department heads and the finance committee. Proposed balanced operating budget to the select board and finance committee. We didn't get any of that until very late.
Yeah, right, I'll chime in also. Yeah, I read this yesterday. It's actually short and sweet, like it's a fast read. But I have to emphasize like Karen's point here. Like, it's very clear that the town administrator and the department heads with this committee puts together the budget to then work with select board, sort of after that's done almost. And in this case, that's not really how that happened. There's another point of clarification, but if that's probably a more major point, so I'm not going to add my little doodads here at this point. I'll say that.
That's Article 3 of the town bylaw.
so, how do we proceed then?
I don't know, the town administrator is no longer here, so we now have to move forward with a new one and figure out how to make sure that this happens correctly going forward.
It's got to be collaborative all the way across. It can't be a, hey, we did something, check it out.
Yeah.
And by the way, you only have a couple days to check.
Usually we were lucky
Right.
if we got 48 hours, but you know, hey.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to work together, and I think that I think we'll find open ears there.
Who's gonna
The other bit under. Sorry, what?
Who's gonna work together?
The town administrator, us, and the department heads, and I'm sure the select board will be very interested to participate in those discussions. I mean, that's what it says right there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
It's very clear.
we're just doing what it says. If we're ready for nitty gritty, paragraph 5 under A, it restricts our access to books of record to things that are paid from town treasury, and I would assume that that may not directly include things like water and sewer.
No, that's paid from the town treasury.
Okay,
It is?
It is.
I thought it was its own revolving account.
It
but-
is, but it's still part of the town treasury.
It's
Not
Okay,
It doesn't say
Perfect.
general fund, it says town treasury, which means
All right.
it's just how it's
What was
classified.
the email that I sent?
all right. So that was a point of clarification I was interested in, and yeah, that was it. Everything else is pretty clear, and yeah, it's good.
Oh, yeah, okay. Hold on, let's see what it says.
Is it David still on?
I am. I can't speak to what happened last year because I wasn't here. So, I'm not sure what the process was previously. But in other communities, I have put together the budget and have worked with the finance committee and the board. I generally would present it to the board, look to them to make their recommendations and then present it to FinCom. And if those two columns are different, they're both different, the best way to have agreement on how much should be funded, but there are differences sometimes. And those differences would get resolved on the town meeting floor. Yeah, it would be premature for me to say that I'm going to be putting together the budget because at this point, I'm hoping that we're going to have a new town administrator in place by November and December, and that person will be responsible. And I think that should be something that's right up front and clear, so that you get off to a good start and with an understanding of what needs to be done to put together the budget. You got to remember too, is that the finance committee doesn't create the warrant. It's the board of selectmen that create the warrant. And as a result, ultimately, the warrant is the responsibility of the board.
But it says that the finance committee shall submit the proposed budget to the annual town meeting. So that's
once again, it's generally a column. It's reviewed by both boards, by the board of selectmen or the select board and the finance committee, and both make recommendations. And, once again, like I said before, you work together, you try to come to a common number. And if you don't, then that's discussed at town meeting, and the town's meeting voters make the decision on which recommendation they want to fund.
That's why in all the years I sat on this committee, the finance committee has always put forward the warrant articles for the budget because we were intimately involved. We were not this year, so the select board did it.
And that's what the state handbook says that we're supposed to be doing too.
And I think we're splitting hairs here a little bit, right? Because the warrant articles do come from the select board, but it clearly says that the budget is developed in a collaborative fashion. So that's just what we got to focus on. And I think the rest of it is starting too late and hoping, like crossing your fingers that some number breaks one way or the other.
Right.
And that's what we got to get away from. We'll always have that difficulty of not knowing the exact number. We're trying to wait until early April to start doing math because you think maybe the state will add this or that. I think it's
they don't wait until April. The budget process generally begins in December, feeds into February and January, February with the board, the finance committee. The warrant gets, the budget gets worked through in March, and depending upon when your town meeting is, it's April or May, and make presentation.
Yeah. And we got to start sooner because we know what we're up against. So
Try again.
that's it.
Yep.
All right, I got to break off for probably 10, 15 minutes here. I did send a table of information over email for the rest of the committee to consider for the DPW aspects that we're going to talk about, that you guys are going to talk about later. And I may be back on, but I don't know the timing of my meeting. So, but I got to break off for some amount of time right now.
Okay.
I'll be back.
All right, bye.
Bye.
The table was empty, right? It was just the top columns
I
and
haven't
seen it. It came.
it was just the columns and the
It was.
rows and column headers, not,
Yeah,
I think it was something to ask the
that's what I was curious.
DPW chief, but I think we should finish up
But that's
finance committee
not-
bylaw item on our budget first.
Was there more to the agenda than, because that's not on the agenda either.
Right.
I was just going to say that you can't be talking about things that are
Oh,
on
wait,
the.
hold that page.
There's
It
no-
didn't sound good. I was having
But it
printer
was on
problems
the-
this week. Yes, the posted agenda has
That's what I
everything
thought.
on it.
Yeah,
I'm
it
sorry
does.
it didn't print
That's
on the
fine.
backside. I'm just gonna blame the
You
heat.
have to be careful because somebody could raise a question about, well, geez, I wanted to.
It's
have
on the
it-
agenda, Dave, we just didn't get it printed.
Yeah, it's all right.
No, I'm just saying, the reason that it should be on the agenda and should be, everything should be on the agenda, because you're gonna get a complaint at some point by one of your residents saying,
We
geez,
understand.
if water and sewer, was it on there and you guys talked about it, I would have liked to have been party to that discussion. And I think that that's important, that everybody should have an opportunity to, provide input on things that are on the agenda.
Yes.
All right, so
Didn't print double-sided.
where are we going with the finance committee bylaw? We all understand what it is. And we're gonna work as collaborative as we can to work towards that. One of the problems that I foresee is where Ludwig said last meeting is, we're talking about the first digit now. And I would like to at least start talking first digit where we're gonna be short one of these days soon. Like, are we a 3 or 4 or 5, or where are we at? And then we can develop a plan on how we're gonna attack that. And based on, unfortunately, it's gonna be a real tough target to hit. But
Well, we
we
know,
can forecast, we kinda know what Wachus is gonna do.
and we know how much free cash we're using, so, that's gets added, came back in.
New growth, revenue projections, you don't know any of that at this point. You can make estimates, but those necessarily are not gonna be the final numbers that you're gonna use.
No, I think we know that, but I think we need to, where I think we're all coming from is, we know more than likely we're gonna need an override, and we need to start the education now.
I would agree with that. That part I would agree with. But I don't think it would be helpful to start throwing around numbers if we don't have a firm handle on that.
Well, we need to know a ballpark, big guy.
I ballpark, yeah.
I mean, our forecast has, what, just shy of 3 million? And if you count the million that we cut this past year, if we're talking about,
Bringing it back.
may I, through the
Absolutely.
chair,
You're gonna have to basically establish a new base.
if we're talking about bringing that back, we're looking at closer to 4.
Correct.
And my big questions is, knowing where we made the cuts for this year, we're already having issues with public safety and library paying utilities. Were those cuts made in the right places, and are we gonna be throwing money at those already, and what do we need to make sure gets put back in the right places?
But that gives us a starting point, because you know where the deficit is, essentially. You know how much we had to pull out of free cash, so you add that back in, because that dug us into a deeper hole. So if you're saying, okay, we think it's gonna be 4 million, just to put that out there and say, hey, townspeople, if you want all of these services, this is what we're looking for. This is a rough number, it's gonna change.
For one year.
Right, for 1 year. But that's what we need to educate people
But we
on,
need to start doing that now,
and not waiting,
because
yeah.
if the decision is to go larger later, then at least we've already started the narrative. Because if we don't start this now, come March, April, it's tough to pull it. And I think the new town administrator coming in needs to understand that there will have to be 2 iterations of the budget. The one we recommend, and then the one if the override doesn't pass. I disagree with one of the members of the select board who said that's disheartening, and I understand it's disheartening to the people, but you gotta sell it with both, unfortunately.
And I don't think, David, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think we can wait for the next town administrator to start this process. We gotta have you and us and the selectmen working towards this long before, and then this is,
I totally agree with that. I wasn't suggesting that.
well,
What
you
I'm-
kinda sounded like that, so that's what I got out of it, but I understand now what you're saying. I'm just afraid that we can't wait too long. And as Karen and everybody on this committee says, we can't wait too long, but we can't have paralysis here waiting for the new town administrator.
No, I'm gonna do everything I need to do to get you up to that point. But at that point, somebody new is gonna take over, and you wanna make sure you have the right person for the job, and that you're moving forward. And that, you know, the word, getting the word out about the override is a good thing. I totally agree with that. I think a big part of it is going to be saying to the townspeople, hey, these are the services we're gonna have to cut if we don't fund the budget up to a sustainable level. And you have to set a new base at this point. 2.5 is not working in the town of Rutland, and there has to be a new base set in place so that in the future, when we add the 2.5 on, that we're at least able to systemically address the issues that are now plaguing us and in the future.
So if we think, David, that we're 4 million out of whack right now, kinda, let's just throw that number in there. What do you think the new base should be? That we should, what's your preliminary throw a ball at
I
the
know
wall?
that $1 million is a big ask. I know that.
How much, what was that?
$1 million for an override is a huge ask, and that would be really difficult to sell to any town, actually. That's a big ask. You know, we need to know what our resources are and how we can use those resources, and start taking some internal look in terms of, you know, are we using the resources that we have the most efficiently that we can? And that, you know, looking at staffing, looking at, you know, everything basically. And I'm not saying you haven't done that already, but you know, we have to look for opportunities in this situation, and it's not a good situation to be looking at. Just my outside observation of being here probably a little bit more than four weeks. You know, I'm concerned. You know, just knowing what I know.
Oh, we've been concerned for a couple years, more than a couple years.
Ted, I think you had,
Was that,
either you were,
was that a stretch or a question?
No, that was a question. My question was, or my thought was that it would be really helpful to me to get, and Lynn was hinting at this, an updated, I don't know if redoing this FY 27 column in the forecast document is the best way to do that, given the best numbers we think we have now, or is there another document when we start it? But, you know, currently, that number that Jen pointed out is just under 3 million, but we think we got maybe a $4 million problem, and that's not what this says. I'd like to
I
get a
wouldn't be. Yeah.
better picture of that.
What does that tell us then? I'm not looking at that right, that tells us what, how much?
2913826.
But to that, you have to add the 771 that we spent in free cash. So that's, it's rounded up to $1 million. So there's 3 points.
So I guess what I'm getting at is, you say that, we know that, some of us know
We should
that, some
change
of
it.
us, we need to update this or get a new one.
I agree.
Who does that, when, how?
I can work with Donna on that so that we can have something that at least be a starting point.
Okay,
That would be awesome.
that would be a great starting point, David, we appreciate it.
I would say it's a starting point, but my concern is 28, 29, and 30 that is on there, and the increase that's far over and above the 2.5% property tax rate. So, you know, and I think I haven't been shy about telling you, you know, my ideas about override, and I'm not saying no to it. I said, I need to be convinced. And if you're selling $4 million this year and you're selling, you know, 2 million the next year and 2 million the next year, we're not selling the 4 million. If you sold the 4 million and it was good for 5 years, you might be, you know, okay. But if it's gonna continually rise by $2 million over and above.
And we can't say that it's gonna be, we shouldn't put a finite, we think. Because,
With a finite bidders before.
yeah,
Absolutely.
one wrong or two
absolutely.
wrong assumptions
Oh, yeah.
is a big problem.
So can we bring that sheet with, I guess a good way to do this is put the realistic projection for this year. And then what we think the next couple years is, cause we can do that with that. And then now we have a better understanding where we gotta go. I think that's a great, perfect.
The other thing that I've been thinking about personally is, you know, I don't know what's going on with Paxton, but they didn't do their override. I would like to, for educational, and it's good or bad education, I don't know, because I don't know what it is yet. But what are they cutting? How are they making ends meet? We don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's interrupting this, it's interrupting that. We could start looking at those rather than coming up with our new list of what we think. We could start with something already and seeing, they may have made cuts that just right-sized things. Or they may have made cuts that in another 6 months, it's gonna be devastating. But that's a hard conversation to have, and I don't know who we would have it with, but I think it may be important, or at least helpful to us.
You might wanna try to reach out to the finance committee in Paxton to see if they can give us
I don't know
anything.
anybody, but we can try.
I mean, that's my thought. I don't know if it's,
Well, that's personal experience, and that helps if you're trying to sell something too, you know, so we understand as well.
what are we looking at? There may be something that we think is gonna be huge and they found that it's not, and something, and you know, vice versa, so.
Even if we learn nothing, at least we've crossed that bridge to see, right? You gotta get over there and just check it out, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I agree with you 100%. All right.
So who makes that move?
Chair to chair? I don't know who it is.
I can reach out over there, and Tamika's gonna have to help me when I go up on Monday and sign this thing. And I don't know anybody in Paxton other than a couple of selectmen.
I'm sure they probably have something on their website that of how to get in touch with people, I'm sure, like we do.
I don't know the town administrator over there, but I could give him or her a call and.
It's an interim
We
right
have an
now.
interim too.
Okay.
I know the
St.
former,
Thomas is
who's now
doing
a
so well.
selectman.
I know
So maybe you
treasurer
reach out to
collector.
him and ask how to get in touch with the chairman of the finance committee, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't.
No, I'm with you. I don't know either. That's the thing. And I don't have my computer with me, so I'm sorry.
You don't mind? I don't
No.
know how to work it.
Darren, I know the treasurer collector. I can reach out to her and see if she has the
I guess
contact
we gotta
information.
do a couple different things, try to find
I'll
out.
reach out.
Yeah,
There's no
we
harm
can
in that.
Monday, maybe we can get a spare minute before I come in 3:30 or 3 o'clock and talk to you about this form. We can sit down for a minute and I'll keep you guys in the loop. All right. The next, we had sent did we send a letter to the select board? We did. Did we get anything back? I didn't see anything back. Did you guys see it?
About the funding of
A
the.
piece of it, yeah.
Yeah, about the funding for the town
Yeah.
administrator, yeah. They're funding it using the current salary line. And I'm not putting words in anyone's mouth, but pretty much kicking the can down the road, we'll figure out how to fund the rest of it later.
Darren, I had sent a follow-up email to the committee after they met, just to update everybody on what
Yep.
they decided.
And then they'll figure out how to pay the rest.
But I think another portion of the letter was
To ask
to what,
to be
in
part.
what level of involvement can we be, or the chair be in looking for the new TA?
Did you guys talk about that?
We haven't yet.
Okay. Cause we'd like to be a little, we'd like to have a representative there to be involved in the process, not leading the process, but just to help. Okay. Water and sewer is the next one. Enterprise accounts. I saw an email, and I think everybody in the room saw it, from Chris Kolosky. And he explained his understanding of how the process works. Do we want to ask any further questions of him, or how do we wanna approach this? Cause
So my question on this, I mean, he showed us how the staff payroll is broken down. But my question is it broken down proportionally like that? Or every week does he take the hours that someone works on water and the hours that someone works on sewer and break it down by what's actually being worked on? That, to me, this, unless I missed something, that doesn't answer the question.
I think it answers it the way he felt. I'm not sure that it answers your question. Tamika, do you understand where we're going with this? No. I guess, and this would be a David question, right? It's just, I'm.
Or is it
Or
a
maybe,
banana?
or is it a payroll question? Like,
She's out till next week.
She didn't have, because I think we spoke about it a little bit at
Yeah,
your
she didn't
meeting.
have
She
an
didn't
answer.
have any insight.
Yeah. And what she gave us wasn't helpful to us. I remember looking at it, and I have it.
no.
It was,
Well, from what I can see, the administrative assistant and the secretary look like it's just evenly split, of their salaries, no matter what they're working on it. But I can't tell, and even payroll it might be, even the regular water versus sewer wages might be just a set amount. But you can't tell anything from this.
If that's how we budget it, then that's how it has to go in. It can't fluctuate.
So
well,
if someone works 10 hours in water and 30 hours on sewer, they can't,
That doesn't happen.
I'm just.
Say that with a straight face.
I did for a second,
she did.
So what I am seeing in
Cause then we'd be overspending a line.
the email that Ludwig sent that he referred to is a table where he is essentially proposing that, I'm assuming, Chris be asked to provide some data that would help us to better understand that and to know whether or not what you just tried to say with a straight face happens or doesn't happen.
Well, we can't split it any differently for administration because administration in highway is a set amount. So then we would be overspending that line and that's not allowed.
I'm not seeing what he's asking for. I would imagine the top receiver of payments is gonna be your wages. So I'm not sure what this,
Unless he meant
I don't know what the
for,
picture's gonna look like when he's.
unless he meant for purchase services.
The narrative that goes is, he's saying that he thinks expenses will dominate labor.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So he's suggesting that we may be in the weeds for no reason, I think is what he's saying.
Yes.
And I think that this is not coming from, this wasn't our idea, we're just trying to help.
We're trying to see if it was, if it was a resident request to just investigate.
Right.
And did you guys set the water and sewer rates at the last meeting?
Yes.
There was no, well, there was a construction increase
That's it,
of $100, there was no usage increase.
okay.
So my recollection of this is that a number of years ago, and historically to some extent, there were some pretty blurry lines as to who worked what and did what, and it wasn't tracked very well. And what this individual, and I know Tommy's mentioned it ad nauseum, and a whole lot of other people have asked the question, are those lines indeed less blurry now? And that's what I think they're asking us, they're asking you, they're asking him, meaning Chris, the department, to provide that information. Ludwig has an idea here that may or may not do it. Haven't had time to look at it really enough yet. I guess, one of my questions would be, who primarily needs to do this? Is it the finance committee? Is it the chair of DPW? Is it the select board? If someone's gonna ask the chair of DPW to do it, it's probably gotta be you guys, right? Cause he works for you. But
Well, and he reports through to the town administrator, through to them. I think it's for us to review it after it's done. I personally think we can give them a framework and what we're thinking, and they can hopefully work towards it, but it's not, I am not recommending that the finance committee go down there and ask those questions, cause that's not our charge. It's our charge to make sure that it's right. We're not supposed to get the facts and figures necessarily. We have people that they work for that can get those numbers, then we can go from there.
I would say we should ask Chris and Donna to be at a meeting, and we can ask the questions to them.
Don't we wanna ask it of their bosses?
Okay, I'm just saying, it might be easier for them to understand what we're looking for. I don't think anyone understands it because we're trying to do it so many different ways. I think it would be easier to have both of them here, and we say, what we're trying to do is this. And then they might have a better way than even what we're thinking.
I think that would be helpful.
And I think even just boiling it down to things that Tommy said, and I've said the same thing. And when I was on the select board, there'd be presentations and it was like, well, this year we're gonna take people from DPW, put them on water and sewer, and then the next year it's back. So it just seemed, and that's where the fuzzy and blurry line is coming from. It's because this budget wasn't as big and there's not as many funds in this one, or, whichever one was in the better position seemed to be receiving
So I
other,
think
and
we
so
all
we
agree
kind
with
of were
you,
set
just
up for
gotta
this.
get- The process of getting to there, my feeling is that it should come from the people in the town.
Who handles payroll?
Donna.
Okay, so Donna should be able to answer to us if it's done weekly, if it's done trued up once a month, if it's trued up, whatever. But chances are it's done weekly because that's where the budget is.
Yeah, unless it's every 2 weeks.
I think it's every 2 weeks.
Whatever
that
the
number cycle is,
payroll is,
right.
yeah.
But are you asking, Donna is, like we're saying, Donna's given information, she just processes it. Do we need to go further back and saying who's doing the time cards, the time sheets?
Well,
Is that where?
I think the thing is Donna's given the information, but here's the thing, what we're trying to figure out is when does this all get done? How does it get done? Is it just, she's told it's 50% and 50%? Is she told on a payroll basis that it's 30 and 70? We don't know.
Per person, right?
Right, we don't
Right.
know. Is it just a set or is it vary? And that's the question we haven't been able to boil down to get. And I think if we have both of them here, I think it's gonna be easier to get the answer than it is trying to keep sending emails back and forth, and I just think it's just a lot.
So what's the mechanics of getting them here? We need, I think what I heard you say is we probably need to request the selectman or the town administrator to ask them to come chat with us?
I think we ultimately have the charge to do it, but I'm not gonna step around their
No, but
bosses.
we could just
to do it.
ask Tamika to ask Dave.
Well, Dave's just.
Dave's on, so just remind him. And come with a computer or whatever you need to access. So we can actually not keep, I'll get back to you.
And that once we know when they can make it, you know, one of our next few meetings, then I'd say we just do that the first thing, get that done and over with, so that they're not out late.
This part of this whole job for me, I'm gonna let one of you guys run with this because it is mired my brain down to the point where I'll be honest with you, we're spinning in circles here.
And if we just find out
On
from-
this issue,
Yes,
So if we find out that Donna just does it a split way, or does Chris do it separately, or how does it, and then at least we have that answer.
Donna's back next week. Can you make are you home early enough or can send an email? You to request, however you
I
want.
just say, can you just send a note to her? It's just easier to go right through the office and find out. And then
Okay.
that way it's just easier, that we shouldn't have.
Cause I assume you guys might set your date tonight for your next meeting, so then I'll have something to work with.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
From.
I'd like to be like the little committee chairman on this, or
Well, my whole thing-
someone that's an accountant that
My
can
whole
figure
thing
these.
comes in where I just think it's easier, cause sometimes when you get an email, you don't know, it happens all the time. You put it together the way you think it makes sense, but until you know exactly what's in the head of the people asking the questions, it's tough to
You
understand.
understand the intricacies of these
Yeah.
numbers more than me. I'm a big picture guy, and I would like one of you two people that are way smarter with financial numbers help me out, that's all. How's that?
We're not way smarter, we just know the mechanics of it.
Yes, that's all I'm asking. Okay. Next, has anybody got anything else on that agenda item? Okay, you're the agenda for tonight.
I do
that's
not.
it, motion to adjourn.
We've got a couple more things, then you can
Oh.
have at it, buddy.
Sorry, I didn't see them on the list.
No, the list didn't get put up.
I'm
Didn't
looking
print
at it.
double-sided,
No, I'm looking at that
sorry.
list, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Well, all right, what's number after that one, please?
nothing.
Um,
Reserve fund transfer,
27.
which we already did.
Did you do the FY 27?
no, discuss upcoming budget process and plans for free cash,
Well,
kinda,
we
sorta.
kinda touched on that with our roles and responsibilities we feel as the finance committee, correct?
Mhm.
Next item?
May I ask a question? That might come up at
Go
a
ahead.
meeting. What happens if we need to pay some unexpected bills?
We don't have much left.
Can you give us an
Well,
What?
example, perhaps?
when did you send me that email to me, guys?
The office yesterday was made aware of balances owed for the library roof project
Can't have it.
that are overdue, that came in earlier this year and have not been paid in, what is it,
33.
$33,000?
$33,000.
Yeah, I just got it.
So isn't there money still in the roof repair allocation for, I'm not using the right terminology.
We don't know.
Donna will be in on
Who's-
Monday.
That's what we're trying to confirm.
Yes, that portion of the project was supposed to have been funded with ARPA funds. I did speak with Nick today, cause since Donna's on vacation, to try to get an idea if there's any money left in that account. It looks like some of the money was transferred out, we're not sure where to, but the balance showing was around 19,000. So even if we have that 19,000 in there, we still do not have enough money to pay these invoices.
At the end of the year, of fiscal year 2025, per the budget to expense report, it's 22,220 on the library building and roof repair.
That's a different one, actually. So that was the original roof repair project that did not hold up very well.
This is gonna get better for you, Karen.
Yeah.
We'll go like this, go, cause you're gonna love this part of the story.
Stick to bite on?
No, what I wanna understand is how does these things come in and we have, these positions aren't unfunded now. We have people. It's not, back in the day, Dan only worked, 8 hours a week and whatnot. We now have all these people. How does this happen?
Well, can you explain to me why we have two different accounts for the group?
Yes, I guess. So a few years ago, there was an article appropriation made to repair the library roof. And they did that. And unfortunately, it was not done very well. And there were significant problems that came about after the fact. So a couple of years ago, the select board allocated approximately $286,000 from ARPA to make repairs to the public safety roof as well as to the library roof. The public safety was done first, and those bills were paid promptly by the public safety personnel. The library roof project was finished a year ago in September. Those invoices were not made aware to me until yesterday, because the individual that they went to did not share them or pay them.
So I'm gonna just say this bluntly, because it just works better. Policies, forget about the municipal lots. Let's get a policy that all invoices need to be sent to a centralized email. And then that way, it doesn't go to anybody else.
I agree.
That's how we do it
That's how I do it.
it all goes to one, because
I only discovered it by accident. And so this has now become a very stressful thing, and
Cause Karen's getting blunt, I want you, could you just tell me how many emails we're looking at? How many emails that are in a file?
I have been tasked with paring down 21,000 unread emails in our town administrator's inbox that I'm currently working through with Sam Geeks to make sure that we're not getting rid of things that are important.
21,000?
Unread emails. So,
So now you guys know the magnitude of the magnitude. I can see Karen.
And they're not all like ads from CVS, these are real
just goes to show
emails.
you how.
some of them are,
Okay.
some of them are not. So we are,
There is a certain percentage of those.
yes, and I'm slowly making my way through it, but unfortunately, and just the timing of it with Donna being on vacation, we didn't have a lot of access to the information, so I went directly to the source, which was Weston and Sampson, who worked with the town on this project. They then contracted with an outside contractor, and I was able to confirm that yes, these invoices have not been paid. They've been outstanding for a very long time, and nobody was aware of them outside of the town administrator.
I don't know, picked up the phone, I don't know.
I imagine they did, and I think there's more emails that show it trying to collect those funds from the town administrator.
I mean,
And
12
maybe
months,
unlistened to voicemails?
12
Well,
months
that's a whole
afterwards, it
nother
doesn't
story.
take me that long to
Oh,
start
no.
getting cranky
No.
over collecting. At that point, I'd say 90 days, I'm picking up the phone, and if someone doesn't pick it up, I call the next person and call the next person.
The most recent one we received as a hey, this needs to be paid was April 30th.
But Weston and Sampson knew they do a lot of work for us. So how did this just go, oops?
I think the emails were only going to one person, the town administrator.
Well, they must not be too worried about it because they didn't reach out to anybody else.
Well, they're not owed the money, another company is.
No, they are owed the money because we contracted with Weston and Sampson, who did a subcontractor. So they're the ones that we don't write to the third party, we write it to Weston and Sampson.
Regardless how it get there with 21,000 upside down. All right, so
Wow.
Possibly. I mean,
possibly,
probably something, cause like Tamika said, even if we have that 20,000, we're still in the hole.
You're looking at town meeting.
well,
Cause obviously we don't have it in the reserve fund, we can't deplete the whole thing.
We have nowhere else to take it from.
It would be a prior bill.
So David, what, are you actively with Tamika trying to go through those emails, buddy, when you get a chance?
No, I'm not, actually. I was unaware that she was going through the 21,000 emails, so. Once again, I'm only here X amount of hours. If that's how you want me to allocate my time, that's fine, but.
No,
You know.
that unfortunately is not our job in this room, but we do have the chairman of the Board of Selectmen here, and we'll probably have a discussion or go to the next meeting and kind of push that some direction. So,
Because if there is that money left in that article, we could reappropriate that to those prior year bills at the town meeting in the fall.
That's an option
Yeah. The challenge is, I think the library was hoping to get that money
for their
for
budget.
their budget.
So we can meet
It
Well,
was
you
believed
know,
that it was
in the
done.
evening instead of 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Well, how much does a photocopier cost that makes money? Because that's the only way we're gonna get it, guys. I get it, but that's why I said 25,000 is gonna go quick, because we already know we're short in so many lines.
And using those appropriations for current years, that digs us even deeper into hole, so add on to that $4 million.
And we have a lot of questions for Donna too, like what's in free cash right now, how much? We don't know that number right now, do we?
Yeah, we did. We knew exactly how much was left. 77. We won't know the new certified number until November.
Right, but we know it's 77 something, right?
Yeah, but so can we use that, or does it have to be recertified again? Dave?
Dave? Hello?
I don't remember if that can be spent. It doesn't make a difference, gonna have to wait for a town meeting. It doesn't make a difference, you have to wait for a town meeting either way.
To spend it.
There's actually, unless we do a reserve fund transfer from somewhere to pay this bill, there's no way to pay this bill. And I don't know whose account is gonna be the person to step up and say, take 30-something
You
thousand,
can't do interdepartmental transfers until May 1st.
We just did one.
No, we did a reserve fund, interdepartmental, which would mean that somebody who padded their budget's willing to fess up and give up. Not gonna happen.
That's a tough ask on July 17th too.
He's back.
Hey, Dave?
Yep.
If we have the ability, if we have free cash now, do we have to wait for that to be recertified with the new free cash? Or can we, if we wanted to, call a special town meeting and appropriate funds out of that, or spend funds out of that?
I would have to look that up. I honestly don't know that off the top of my head. I would assume that the money's been certified and is available,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
the general.
So that would be the only thing.
A special town meeting to appropriate money for the bill.
Yeah, but
That's a waste of money, in my opinion. We've already wasted money on one special town meeting.
Well, it depends on this, when they start kicking in their heels. You know what I'm saying? Eventually here, they're gonna put us in some sort of a difficult situation.
Is it legal and legally going to start to cost us more money because we're not paying a bill versus the few grand that it is to have the special town meeting? That's what you're getting at, right?
Which I get.
Could you, the people in the office, could you turn David up just a little bit, please? Or turn the speaker up just a little bit.
Well, I think maybe the conversation has to be had with Weston and Sampson and,
Can they foot the bill and-
explain what happened,
We'll pay
fess
them.
up. We didn't know, this is what's going on, can they wait till the town meeting in November? You don't know until you ask.
And I guess I would ask the simple question of, you guys are here all the time doing work in the town. Do you not see them in your office?
Who?
Weston and Sampson?
Was they not,
They never stop by your office.
No, they do all their meetings either virtual or down at DPW, so I
Okay.
never interact
So
with
even
them.
if DPW, they didn't ask the DPW chair about this?
I'm sure they have the town
Superintendent, excuse me,
administrator.
not chair, superintendent.
I mean, I know what, in my job, if I don't get an answer from the person who ordered the stuff, I go to accounts payable and start asking questions. You don't stop with one person.
So, we don't have an email account bills at Town of Rutland or something like that that go to whoever would pay that yet, apparently?
I think that would be a good thing to have.
That's the
Accounts
first thing.
payable or accounting at.
AP at
Whatever, however
Town of
we wanna
Rutland,
classify
and then that way all invoices go there. It makes no difference. They all go there, and then it doesn't make a difference if it's for the fire chief, if it's for, paper.
You could give the town administrator access to that email so they can
Right.
see it.
But then it's there.
Go ahead, Jen.
Is that something that would go in financial policies, so we can have it established that that's what we would like to do?
I would say it's a great place to start, but I think we need to start now because
Oh, I agree.
because that's the whole thing. We can, it should just say all invoices. Yes, the financial policies would say all invoices must go to AP. And then
Centralized,
whoever
yeah.
is doing AP has to send those out.
Yeah.
But there should be a PO for that anyway, so they don't have to go back for
Does the
approval.
town use
because the
POs?
No, they took that away. Austin eliminated that.
Why? That's a safeguard.
No idea.
That's an
What do you
accounting,
think?
is that in the accounting policy? Is that in the financial policy?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I just know
POs.
that department heads
A lot of towns
no
don't
longer
use
use
POs.
POs.
What's that, David?
A lot of towns don't use POs, believe it or not.
Because of,
They just never adopted a system to allow it to happen. The bills go to the individual departments that are responsible for them.
what would your policy be if you were to set one? What would you do? Use POs or not?
I would go towards a PO system, but that's, once again, that's education, that's software, that's, making sure that everybody is on the same page in terms of how that works.
I'm
that you
sure
need
radar
POs.
system can do that,
if it doesn't, shame on it.
It's a question for Donna.
right?
But then there's a whole, you don't just pay an invoice, you make sure that
It gets
if that
verified.
box of paper was received, so,
That's
that's
the
part of
question.
the.
I don't even know if Donna has these.
Which
They just
is,
sit in one email inbox.
but the thing is that's why Lynn and I were saying, when we're trying to collect for our jobs, we don't just call, we are calling everybody and anybody. You get on the website and you find somebody to call. I mean, Tamika's number is easy. You call there and you find out. There's just no reason to, they never even bothered calling the town administrator's office because you have to go through Tamika to get there.
Well,
Wow.
so the town administrator has his own extension and the voicemail box was full. So we did just work to get that cleaned up so that David would be able to start receiving messages again. So if they were calling,
The messages through the VoIP system too. They come to me not only as a voicemail on the phone, but they also come.
Email,
as a-
sure. Yeah.
but unfortunately I was not contacted by anybody and just stumbled upon it yesterday.
Well, see, for me, that would be a question for Weston and Sampson. You do a lot of business with this town. Why didn't you reach out? They know the players.
They could have just called,
But
hey,
if the
I
money
need
wasn't due to
accounting.
them,
You know,
did the
maybe-
subcontractor not
Karen,
ask?
between.
But the
maybe
money,
they-
we have to pay Weston and Sampson.
But it doesn't sound like are we paying Weston and Sampson, or is it, we paying the subcontractor?
I
Is
believe
it-
the invoice is from Weston and Sampson.
Then we pay Weston and
We
Sampson.
pay Weston and Sampson because we didn't contract with the
I
subcontractor.
agree.
We agreed to pay Weston and Sampson.
They're both
Karen,
on
I'm
contract.
concerned that
Oh, no, the invoice is from the contracting company.
So that's
Yeah, that's the
incorrect.
problem. So I would look to see that, because I'd be willing to bet when we did that appropriation, it was to allow Weston and Sampson to do this.
It wasn't an appropriation though, it was just the select board approving use of ARPA funds for that project.
Yeah, but I'm sure that when they approved it, it was Weston and Sampson. We don't know these people.
I'd have to check the motion, I don't know that they were that specific, to be honest.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
And Karen, between me and you, we
Finance
gotta
director.
check with, maybe I have to go and ask Chris and say, have you seen anybody, seen the bill, or how, there's a missing piece here.
Chris was not aware of the work that was done
Okay,
When was the work done?
last September. And Chris just found out about this a few days ago.
I just can't imagine
And that's
somebody
how it
not
came to my
following up.
attention.
So he must have known that the work was done, and no one said, oh, by the way, where's my invoice?
No. He was not looped in on the project.
What was the
By the
project? Can I ask what the
administrator.
project was?
Repair
Oh,
of
the
the
roof,
roof.
I'm sorry.
repair of
repair
the
here.
roof.
Repair of the roof,
And you just found out about it yesterday
correct?
from him or in your
Chris.
forensic emailing?
From Chris, from my discussions with Chris. So it actually
How
stemmed
did he
from.
find out about it?
So we were doing some research into the library articles because, as you know, we're trying to figure out a reappropriation. And we were trying to better understand the roof project and why there was money left and what the status was. So Chris had a conversation with Kerry to get the answers to all of the questions. And when Chris and I spoke, he was told by one of his employees that additional work had been done on the roof. And that it was outside the warranty period and the town was going to be billed for it. And Chris didn't know anything more than that because he was not included in that process with the town administrator. So that's when I started doing some digging and found the email. And the most recent one I found was sent back on April 30th to the town administrator with the invoice. And then Chief Knight believed that there was another invoice because there was additional work done in December, just this past December, 7 months ago. So I reached back out to Weston and Sampson yesterday and said, can you please get me the other invoice? And we received an additional invoice for $2,000, which is what brought the total up to $33,000.
So how did Chief Knipe get involved in this?
So he was asked to be boots on the ground for the public safety building roof because he was the one that was actually there. So he knew in general terms about what was happening.
So the extra
And said you should
2,000
do
was
some more
here,
digging.
not there.
Correct. All of the work at the public safety building has been paid
But
for.
still, other than those emails, Wesson and Sampson or the other contractors never reached out to the town and said, hey, where's the money?
Other than the town administrator, correct.
But they're not sending emails every day like I would be
No.
doing.
We don't know that though, Ted, there could be a pile of emails in there for this guy.
So 20,000 of them could be from.
So when we did the, maybe, and I apologize if I missed this, when we did the reconciliation of ARPA funds, that wasn't caught
Has there
then.
been a reconciliation of ARPA funds?
It should have been right before
Right,
the end
but-
of the year.
Was there?
Oh, boy. I don't know how we got a clean management letter from our, from our accountant, to be honest with you.
Alright, so here's Darren's, I'm gonna play Karen right at the moment. How many other things do we have going on that we don't know about?
That was really good.
That's,
Hey, I admit it.
Do you have any other,
We don't know what we don't know?
either you two fine women in the hot seat over there know of anything else that maybe is lurking in the shadows?
As far as unpaid bills,
Or
no.
anything
Nothing
financial,
that we're aware of.
how
However,
about grants?
however what?
yes. It sounds like there have been several grants that have fallen through where we were anticipating getting reimbursed and it never was filed or was filed incorrectly or was not
Did we,
actually submitted and we lost out on.
did the work start or anything? Do we owe anything on them?
No,
Oh,
it's
thank
just,
God.
they were for reimbursement,
Okay,
which we are no longer getting.
So
So that 4 number could be going up as a result.
It is.
Every minute we sit here, it's going up, just like the debt clock.
so can anybody tell me
Wow.
when we think we're gonna be on top of this? And how do we get on top
2045?
of this 21,000?
April, May.
No, we can't wait till then. This, somebody,
April, May, who cares, you know?
I think we have to wait until Donna
Till Dawn.
comes back because she's the only one with access to the system that has the information that we need.
So we have one person who has access to the system.
So God forbid anything happens to her.
we actually
we're
had 2
screwed.
people and 1 left.
there should be.
There should be.
So when he left, why wasn't, there's another policy. Forget the exit interview, get all the passwords, because that should be right there. And when a person leaves and that's the second backup, you gotta determine another one.
That has
You
been
gotta chop it off at the
extremely
head right there.
difficult in trying to access certain things that were password protected. And back in the day when we used to have SoftWrite, department heads and myself, we had access to it, so we could just go in and I could say like, oh, did that bill get paid, and before I paid another bill and things like that. When we switched to Vadar, that was taken away from everybody, so only Donna and Austin had access to that, and the town department heads have asked for it and
I understand
said
that to a
no.
point, cause you wanna have the finances be the finances, and I understand that, and we have a full-time finance director, so there's,
But does Vadar have a possibility of a read-only?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I don't know, we can
generally we do. There's usually a read-only function that
And that's
people can.
something that this
view.
it only,
committee should have as
it
well.
only depends if it doesn't cost us more licenses, cause sometimes the read-only still costs you a license.
okay, that's fair.
But you could get one read-only that everybody shares, because if it's a read-only, they can't
can't
change
do anything
anyone
to it.
and do any
Right, but what I'm
damage.
saying is then you've got somebody who wants to look at it, but somebody's got it open and they can't, so it's almost
Yeah, true.
a
It's
moot.
just
So Ludwig,
challenging
just to
and
bring you up to
it's- oh,
speed, he's back.
And good, you're sitting
I'm
down.
back.
And you're sitting down.
And we were presented with a bill that was found in the previous town administrator's email file for $33,000, totaling $33,000,
I think he just
couple of
joked.
bills.
For work done last September.
Oh,
That was supposed to be paid, which was supposed to be paid on ARPA funds.
which
So,
have now disappeared.
Well, we don't know exactly, but we're gonna find out on Monday.
no,
when-
ARPA funds are gone, we
No,
can't
no,
use
but there
ARPA
might
funds.
be an account somewhere. Let's hope.
Okay.
Yeah, we could reappropriate, but you're still having to go to the town to ask.
So we think,
So this is gonna be a lot of last minute policy prep, because let me tell you, I would hope people are gonna be upset.
well, so there's,
If we have to use free cash, that's the town, but if there is any ARPA that, but there is no ARPA, so
ARPA's
forget it.
done.
no, but ARPA's done, but there may be an account somewhere that this library money is in.
That's,
The
those
appropriation.
are appropriations to a warrant article, so in order to have them, you have to bring them back to town.
And have them reappropriated.
Are you talking about the actual library articles now?
No, I'm talking about any one of these articles. If we wanna bring them for something different than what it says, we have to bring it back to the town and
Yes,
ask.
yes.
It's not just something we can just say, poof, goes there, that's not how this works.
Which,
Go ahead.
may I segue into a related question? Having gone through and done I've been going through all the outstanding special articles, starting with the library ones because we were having that discussion, and I've been finding multiple occasions where the funds that were appropriated for these special articles, certain projects, are not being used for that purpose.
Excuse me? Could you be specific about?
So, for example, one of the library ones was, I think it was $5,000. It was appropriated to replace doors, library doors. Come to find out, that wasn't enough money, so instead of buying new doors, we just used it to repair doors. So, to me, that's not what it
Well,
was
it was
intended
still
for.
used for the same thing. It wasn't like we took that article for library doors
no,
and
no, no.
spent it on,
Well,
you know,
Wait a
whatever.
minute,
Well-
she's not done.
I know, but let's get that one squared away
no,
first.
no, I agree. It was used for the purpose of doing something with the doors for the library. But to me, as a resident, I voted for new doors.
Yep.
That's not what we got. We shelled some money out for
In the
repairs,
spirit
and we
of
still
that
need
thing,
new
you
doors.
voted for new doors.
Right.
So
That's
we're-
what you voted for.
And what happened to the hopefully leftover money?
It's still there. It's still there.
Okay,
As an example, but there's another example of the library landscaping, which not much has been expended out of it, it's only been a couple $100s, but some of that.
640.
But some of that was used for mulching for the library, but other areas in the town common. So
Hopefully in
it's,
front of the library. No, okay.
so I have, oh, and another one is, where I was looking at the community center from 10 years ago, there's still an article out there for the community center parking lot.
Yep. It's
I
been
spent
brought up
time in the office.
time and time again.
Understanding what the intent was for that original project, there's really not a lot of information. It, again, can't confirm, I wasn't
It
here.
was millings to be put on the back so that there would be better parking for
No,
the
it
community center.
wasn't.
I think it was for repaving.
We found the meeting minutes.
found
It was for
meeting minutes
repaving?
To repave the parking lot.
And
Of course, that never got done
recently, there
either.
was appropriations for that back area. So again, I same purpose, but not necessarily the original intent.
It's a little gray.
It's a little gray. So me speaking as a resident now, if I'm voting for an article to appropriate funds, that's what I wanna see it used for.
Agree.
I don't want to see this gray area of, well, it's sort of related, so let's still keep using it for
And it's very
Something
disappointing
else.
also that it's been taking 10 years and we still haven't done anything with it.
exactly.
And I don't know how
And-
much
and
money
now
that
it's-
is.
It only
it's
gets more
certainly not gonna
expensive.
cover
The senior center
tried to do- I
parking
know where
lot
all of this
was $13,430
Okay.
is left. We said $1,500 was spent. I'm not sure on what.
Millings.
Yes.
And what I was
We
what I
found
was trying
those
to do with
invoices.
these articles was say they're on the books for 1 year. If they get appropriate, whenever they get appropriate, they're on for 1 year, unless you know that it's a phase 1, 2, or 3, and it's gonna have an end date, but this, because the institutional knowledge goes away as every year
Yes.
goes past.
Or even if
And
you do 2 years, even if you do 2
Paperwork.
years.
I think there should be an end date
And
decided on.
Yes.
it's no longer enough. It's no longer enough to cover the expense anymore. So
exactly.
even if they were to try and repave the parking lot, they're now gonna run out of money. So
There should be a
that's not-
sunset date.
So
like
that's
whatever
on my
we're-
radar.
1
Exactly.
year.
I have it on my radar to go through all of those articles to see what's the current status, what's been done, and see what we need to think about bringing back and either reappropriating for a different purpose or coming back and saying, hey, this is not enough anymore and we can't cover it, whatever we wanna do with it. But as you said, putting something somewhere in place to say, if we have a special article, the project has to be done within X amount of time, something so that it's not sitting around for 5
Right,
to 10
unless
years.
unless, like we did the special article
Yep.
to fund the town administrator position, and that took 7 years to fund. But, so that's fine, to
Sure,
keep that on the
as long
books,
as it's there.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Things like putting money aside for the charter was a good money to put it away, because
Right.
otherwise we wouldn't have, so that kind of stuff. I get it, but yeah.
But even with that, I would have to say I would suggest even a shorter time. Because even 7 years and 8 years or whatever, and so we're way off.
It should be by article.
But
Yeah, for a
but
purpose.
when we had the first charter public information system session, I realized by the end that there was frustration between the committee members and the people that were in the audience, because I've figured out, it's like, I'm looking around at me, nobody remembers the article. So we're still back at square one, like, why are we doing a charter? Because these people were not part of that. So I'm saying, even by shortening it, if we haven't done it in 2 or 3 years, it gets brought back to the floor again. It sounds like it could be devastating to somebody really wanted, but you've got a whole new set of people. The money hasn't been spent. You have different people in town
I
now.
think you gotta put it like a sunset date on it.
Yes.
Whatever,
I- I-
however
You
that
guys
works
all
for each
remember
thing.
how important it was to fix the wood house chimneys?
Yes.
That's-
Remember
it's all
that?
there.
It's very important.
Oh, and look at,
It's all done.
nothing's been spent,
How much is it?
It's done.
but nothing was spent.
That's because they didn't end up having to demolish, but this is my point is,
Yeah.
But it's still
But
sitting there.
sitting there.
this wasn't just demolishing, we also allowed them in that article to do some other,
Repointing,
it was repointing and
the
other,
stairs? For the stairs?
whatever you
some of the
call
brickwork, I
masonry
think,
work,
yeah,
yeah.
some of the masonry work. I think that was done.
But it's
again,
only
this is-
14,000 that shows here.
So this is my
We
point,
might be able to
is
pay that bill.
there's money out there that needs to be reviewed and these need to be closed out, but I think we
Somebody
need to
did
put
that
some
homework
parameters around.
last year in the budget process, went through and found out what all those
But I think the next
unspent
is
open
what,
articles
not
were
only what is open, but what should have been
closed.
charged toward things that maybe weren't charged toward things,
So
or-
that's where I was kind of going with this topic is, you know, what policy step, whatever, do we put in place to make sure that what's being submitted to be paid for a warrant article is
actually the one.
should have been charged to that. Was it for that project, or is it
Within
a
the
gray
spirit of it,
area
yeah.
I
that?
would say that that needs to be done at the PO. The PO shouldn't be issued unless it's aligning with what that article says.
Or at least the PO needs to be there for the traceability of it, right?
Transparency, this is the whole, we keep talking about, what is taxpayer money being spent for, and are we being transparent about it, and
Obviously not.
I'm not seeing that with a lot of this stuff,
So
and it's frustrating.
you're relatively sure now that there's no more outstanding bills.
No,
No, not at all.
That would scare you too. You said that very quickly.
From a legal standpoint, how would you even get it back? Would you have to pass another article that retracts that money?
it can be reappropriated.
We have to say we're gonna reappropriate
Town
from
meeting.
article such and such from such and such date to this
Yeah,
new
so
one.
it's
Yeah,
another
we do
article.
it at a town
It's
meeting.
not yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all
we
right.
can't do it
Well,
without going to the
that's
town.
good.
Yeah, we can't
The
do it without
positive
going
thing
to
is
town.
we know now, and the special town meeting is still some time away.
But I think if I may, Darren, it also speaks to checks and balances.
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
We don't have
I think
that.
there's a couple of these financial policies that we're all gonna talk, you know, hopefully on the second, we can talk that are scary.
2nd of August or 2nd of September?
September.
That's too late,
Can we move it closer? Sooner?
even if we do it on a special night with us, a joint meeting. These are things that are just kind of
Basic accounting.
basic accounting policies. I mean, under a certain level, you can just get an invoice, and then that invoice can be sent, and different people have different signing levels. Because
POs have to,
I'm not holding you for anything, Tamika, but you're the person I know that you won't take offense to this. But Tamika can't go out and buy a brand new car and have Donna pay for it. She has a limit to what she can buy. Can she buy a case of paper? Sure, but you know, there's certain things that people should be
well,
able to
that would be the
assure.
PO process.
Exactly, and but you put certain people with limits and who it has to be double checked by and all of that.
Well, that good
I know-
financial,
I mean, for us, it's,
Policy admin.
nobody can do a PO. I wanna say it's $2,500 and it has to come through me to double sign it.
Like, I know at least 3 of us have worked in finance, so that we could draw from our own experiences at work.
Oh, I
and-
mean, I don't think we have to recreate the wheel, I think we just go
No, no,
online
just
to some of the
basic.
other stuff, I'm sure towns have got it written already.
we gotta see if this Vadar thing can do POs, number one.
And we need more than just
We need
Donna
backup.
and because we need, and you actually need somebody, I mean, I don't know if the town administrator knew how to go in and pay bills, but if something happened with Donna, what are we going to do? If she was out for 3, even 2 weeks unexpectedly, or she's on vacation and we're like,
Yeah.
our hands are tied.
Everything comes to a halt.
So that's, no position should be like that.
Right.
And since we're
And
talking.
who else can do payroll?
Nick,
Okay, so at least we have somebody to back up that, because this town
that
will
can't-
screech to a halt the minute payroll stops.
I think,
And that's no different than any other business, so don't.
Oh, but it'll probably really, really screech you.
I think another thing that we need to talk about, and you had mentioned earlier, where else did we maybe make cuts that were not done in the right place? And I think too many, purchase services seems to be more of a miscellaneous line item than purchase services. Because what we found with the library is that their energy comes out of
And the
of
public
purchase
safety building's the
services.
same
And so
thing.
when you, we can't cut energy, but we can decrease how much paper we buy, kind of thing. So I think that we need to figure out what's in purchase services and then divide it up into its own line items
that used
that
to
you
always be
can and
discussed.
cannot.
That always was discussed at our budget meetings with the department heads. And then then it was cut to 5 minutes, and you really can't have that conversation in 5 minutes.
But then, I mean, if you've
As
got your
it has-
electricity line, you know you can't cut that.
Right.
But if you've got a paper supply line, you
Well,
And
number
maybe
play
six,
there.
number 6 of our discussion tonight is one that I wanna know if I was the only one that was oblivious to that one.
What?
The 2026 dues for the Association of
Oh, right.
Town Finance Committees.
Yeah,
$200?
Yeah,
it is. And there's,
did we know that?
we were not told that it was cut, that I'm aware of.
I don't remember being told that.
And when we got the budget, it was rather late. We were looking at the bigger items. We didn't really necessarily look to see. But I'm saying that that gets us stuff, training. We get invited to different meetings so that when members of the finance committee wanna go, we get a discounted rate that we pay on our own. We don't, but we get a discounted rate. It's like when you guys go to the MMA conference, because we're a member, you get a discounted rate. So now you've hampered any of us from going. I know Tommy's gone, I know Lynn and I have gone, I don't know if you guys have gone.
not gone.
But I've, you get stuff out of these meetings, if for no other reason than just networking with other people who tell you the things that they've seen.
So this segues into, so where do we do with that one? Number one, and then number two, well, we're still one. When will we know, when will we be able to close out last year? Realistically, what do you guys think, another month?
Donna say like
I've heard Donna say
September?
September.
No, these emails and bills that we don't know about.
Oh, I don't know, because I try to get to it as best as I can between doing a lot of other things. I've been trying to, like CM Geeks has me doing certain like keywords, to type it in, so that I'm trying to pull things up from certain people, or if it's junk, I'm pulling it up by that and then deleting all of those. So I'm
If it's junk,
trying
you know how to
work.
block it, right, so that it doesn't keep coming back?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
because there's a
Wanna
lot
make
of
sure
stuff
they
that's
taught you that one.
subscription thing, so I'm trying to make my way through it.
Is this jacking up the CM Geeks bill?
No, this is all included in our monthly
Okay.
subscription. Yep.
All right.
Good question.
Yes. No, it's not an additional charge, and they've been very helpful and very gracious in trying to help us tackle this.
So this is where we're gonna find more missing money. I mean, bills that may not have been
Possibly.
paid. Are you the only one that can do it? Should you be the only one
David,
that can do
David has access to it as well, but as he said, he's only 22 hours a week and he can only do so much.
So
I think it's
Could we
unfortunate that we have to
ask
do it
a
at all.
select person or a couple of select people to volunteer to give a few hours?
It's, well,
I'm
that's
happy
a slippery
to come
slope.
and spend a few hours.
You gotta
early
be
next
very
week.
careful who we've got.
I get it, but
We don't know what information
I was
is
just gonna
in
say,
there.
there might be confidentiality stuff, so we just,
you're all selectmen.
I know.
I know, but
I mean, in all
just
seriousness,
volunteered to do
you're all
so-
selectmen, so you're privy to all that confidential. That's why I didn't say, just let in some senior tax write-off.
That's right.
That's what I was thinking.
Carol, yeah, none of us unfortunately can just jump into that seat because that's explicitly not allowed.
But the selectmen could,
Not with personnel. They're not allowed access to personnel information.
and you are? I'm sorry, I know that came out wrong, but,
No.
and you are?
Under normal circumstances, no. But in this circumstance, there was nobody else to task with having access to information that we needed.
So why are
Another problem, I'm
you
sorry.
taskable and not her?
Or another
Probably because
member of
I'm
the select
an
board.
employee.
So are they.
So are they?
So are we.
No.
We're not.
Yeah.
We are a special employee,
Special
they are
employee.
employees. That's why we didn't get a Christmas gift and they did.
So technically speaking, at the discretion of the town administrator, I am allowed to be privy to confidential information, which is the reason why I was not able to be a member of the union, is because of the clerical union, is because I do have access to that information. The personnel files actually used to reside in my office, and that was moved only when we got Ally as the HR coordinator, and then they ended up staying in the town administrator's office. So it's not unusual that I would have access to that information. I'm not usually involved unnecessarily, but it's not outside the scope of my position to have access to that information in certain situations, and I think.
I like the way you explained it.
I think if we had a permanent town administrator, I would not have access to that email address at all. And I only gained access to that with the permission of the interim town administrator and the chair of the select board, before we did that.
So how do we know right now that the bills aren't going to, if a bill's sent to a former town administrator right now?
So we have it set up as forwarding. So the emails now automatically forward to David. And then we also have an auto reply that goes back that says Austin is no longer an employee of the town. Please email David Demanch directly with his email address. But I still have access to it on a daily basis. So I've updated it to a point where now I'm current. So anytime a new email comes in, I can see it because CM Geeks has set it up so that I can see it right now. And then once we have a town administrator, I would no longer have access to that information.
But I guess I don't understand, you're not gonna have the time because you have other duties to do. So I'm trying to figure out how we throw more hands at that and something that
Right.
we could ask the selectmen to do it, cause
There's 5 of them.
there's, or even 2 of them go up and take turns doing it, but at some point, we need more hands at it, and you guys are privy to the confidentiality stuff.
Darren's not like overly confident that,
Point made, shush.
I get it.
Let me go back to the,
I think we need to, if not to interrupt you, Carol, I think we need to also check in with Donna too, cause it seems that Austin and Donna worked very closely when it came to all of this as
to
well,
make sure that
so-
she didn't have it.
Yeah, exactly, so I don't, like I said, I don't know if she did or did not have these.
So is there a possibility that those have already been paid and we just don't know it?
No, so I did confirm that with the contractor in Weston and Sampson. that none of them have been.
Good thought.
asking.
No, because that's a very valid question, and I
is.
knew that I was gonna have to wait for Donna, and I said, you know what, I have the ability to go directly to the source and find out, and they confirmed that no, this has not been paid.
So I find it odd if, to me, Donna probably doesn't have that because she would have made sure it was paid.
Yes, I think,
agree.
I think if I'm being honest, it's frustrating to be put in a situation where staff or potentially board members have to take time to go through thousands and thousands of emails to make sure that information hasn't been missed.
It shouldn't have happened.
Correct, because it was all during that person's full-time employment with us. It wasn't in that in-between space.
Can we go after that person for breach of contract? Because he didn't do his job?
I don't know.
Just a thought.
If I could get back to the email for a moment, my understanding about the email address is that whatever it is, town administrator, whatever, at Rutland is the email address, and that the individual TAs are an alias of that. So they should be,
So usually it does. This situation was a little bit different
Why?
because Austin decided to set David up with his email address before David started working here. So a separate license was set up for David. So David's email is a start from scratch email. The reason that I was asked to get involved was because the maximum storage capacity on Austin's email was reached and it was no longer able to accept emails. So that's when CM Geeks reached out and said, can you please start to tackle this? I was very overwhelmed because at the time there was 23,000 unread emails and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting rid of something important. So just yesterday, they set up a separate archive email within Austin's email so that I can move and save the important things, and then that can automatically be given to whomever the new town administrator is, because they will assume the A. Siganowitz email address, and then David's license will free up again. So that's where the challenge is. David has no connection to any of that. Not by any fault of his
So
own.
then the other
but
thing,
Austin didn't have his own email address, it was TA, but you
No.
could,
It was, there's.
so there's 2 licenses?
Correct. So he set up 2 separate emails. There's an admin email at townofrutland.org, and then there was the A. Siganowitz
Carol,
at
keep going, where you going with this?
townofrutland.org.
Carol,
It's
think
not
about-
supposed to be that
Wait a
way.
minute, Carol. Ask that question. This one.
Cell phone?
Yeah, one. There we go. Someone asked that question.
Was he getting his emails on his cell phone? And does he still have
It's-
access to them?
No, the phone was wiped clean.
But it's continuity
what
of
she's saying.
business, so it stays with the TA, And just so people think that they're contacting somebody personalized, it's whoever the TA's name is. But
Correct,
it goes to the upper level.
but that's not how he said it.
It needs to be
Okay,
reset
so-
that
but-
way.
But here's
I
the thing,
just-
but his boss, the 5 selectmen, and I'm sorry, Jen, you guys gotta take some of the blame.
But did they know about that, or was he
But
to
you,
make a?
but it's their job to know. I manage people, it's my job to know what they're doing.
Not all of them. The chairman of the board of selectmen should have known at the time.
Right, I mean, but no, they all should know that this is how it
Well, it's a
is.
gray area.
No, because they do the contract negotiation and they know what's included in that contract. I mean, I'm sure if we ask Chris, he can tell you what his people are doing. It's no different. I have people, I have to know what they're doing.
I guess I just don't, why would anybody ask that question, right? That.
Why wouldn't CM Geek say, why are we setting up
That's-
something new?
That's what I would
Maybe
have.
they
And
would.
why isn't that being, through somebody else? Again, it's all the
Maybe they would.
checks and balances.
Checks and balances.
There's no checks and balances, so anybody can do whatever. I mean, I'm not saying Tamika's got 6 emails, but how do we know she doesn't have 6 emails? I'm sorry, but you're the easiest person to.
I only want one.
No,
It's,
I
but
get
it's an
it.
additional license that, we're told that not everybody in town can have a town email, that there are people at DPW that use their personal emails
So
because we
ironically,
don't have.
we just got that invoice today, and I didn't know what the invoice was for, and so I reached out to CM Geeks. I said, "Do you guys know what this is for? It's not the website, it's not the permitting software, and it was for our licenses, and it's almost $6,000
For the year.
for the year."
Is for a Microsoft license?
You
I
might
think
have,
you're overpaying.
you might
Well,
have said this
municipality.
earlier, but
Yeah,
can you ask them to go
Government,
in
it's the same
and
thing. Government
ID
should
all
be
the
cheaper.
nonsense emails and just get rid of them? Or
I don't know,
archive
I
them somewhere?
didn't ask that. I'm trying to unsubscribe from as many things as I can so that those emails stop coming in.
Right, but you would think that they might have a way to go into CVS or WB Mason or whoever it might be and ID
Like filter
things
it
that are
out.
solicitations, ads, and
I'm sure they
maybe knock
probably
that
can.
number
That's a good
down, even
point.
if you knocked it down by 4,000 or 5,000, which.
Sure, that's a very fair point, and I can ask them about that. They've been very accommodating.
Especially if it doesn't cost us anything
And
more
somebody
through
might
them,
wanna
they
say,
should be
oh,
able
let me
to.
write a program, cause that sounds like fun.
So
My
the
goodness.
phone, you guys didn't go the direction I was hoping.
the
So
phone.
that was
I
all
didn't-
wiped
again, I
clean, so
don't know.
nothing that was on there that could have been potentially
County.
important to a
Just go with clean.
pending lawsuit or something is all gone.
Correct.
There was no backup anywhere.
No, and it would cost us money to hire a third party to retrieve what was on the phone.
And it's not necessarily even something that you can get. It might have been done before you can even do it.
But that is a breach, because that's a legal
It's a violation of public records law.
document, yes. That's a breach.
Didn't- I don't know that we're really making all that much progress though, are we here? We gotta plow through the emails. I think filtering by an IT company is a great idea. And then I think for the rest of it.
Search on the
we gotta-
keywords, yeah, invoices or,
There's, if there's an unsubscribed text link in it, then don't worry about it, right? And you can search for those things and knock them out, right? Like somebody that sends you a bill doesn't have at the bottom of it, unsubscribe.
Right.
And unfortunately, it almost sounds like we may have some ramifications over the next couple years, potentially.
Yeah, because now some of those records could be missing on things that might be of legal importance someday.
So, okay, so lessons learned, so going forward,
She's asking us for help and guidance.
financial policies, recommendations, suggestions for things like checks and balances.
And I would talk to CM Geeks to find out what they can do to lock that so that they can't zero it out. Because
In the
it all
future.
should be there. Everything that comes through that phone is public record.
did he had a town phone?
Correct.
Yep.
That's why it gets ugly.
Now, was it an iPhone?
Yes.
Did the town, so here's one of those things that I've learned. Did the town give him an Apple ID, or did he have to subscribe with his own Apple ID to that phone? And that makes a difference, because if it's his personal Apple ID that's on that phone, then he has a right to do that.
I don't know the answer to
I don't,
Because that is a concern. If you're using, I don't want you to have access to what I've got in my Apple
in
ID.
public jurisdiction, do you think that's true?
But
I don't know.
That's a policy then. Any phone,
Right, it
It's
has to
set
have an
up,
Apple ID that's set up by the company, by the town, so that it's there. Because if the town didn't give him an Apple ID, then the Apple ID that he might be using would be his own, and that's got personal stuff that I wouldn't want to share. But if the town didn't give him, just gave him the hardware and not the
Well,
stuff to make it work, I don't know.
Let's go back a step. If you put personal stuff on a company phone, you are subjected to whatever they wanna do to it. There's no personal stuff on your company phone.
I don't have a company phone.
No, well, that's where I'm going with
But
this.
if you're asking me to put my personal Apple ID on a company phone to make it be the
There's no
Apple,
personal stuff on a company phone.
unless they
Some people
didn't
do.
give an Apple ID. Because
have
in order
my-
to make it work,
This is a personal phone, but I have my company email
And I
on
do
my
too.
phone.
same here. And I know that when the day comes, they stop that and I'll never get access, then it's fine. I don't
Right,
care.
I don't
I
care.
don't need it.
but what's duplicated, your phone is the emails for work is duplicated.
Duplicated,
So
so
it's just
Yep.
convenience.
Correct.
Yep.
that aside, I think the important takeaway is the checks and balances, making sure that we have people in place, that we don't have just one person
You have
accessing,
several.
that there's,
And I
and
think
what is the best way to go about making sure that we don't have something like this happen in the
I
future?
guess the thing would be is,
You're gonna have to have HR policies too.
yeah,
Do we wanna have, in moving this along, Ludwig said, we're kinda grinding here. Should we post a meeting and go over and have everybody kind of brainstorm what they wanna do for financial policies? And then we can hammer them out before
Yes.
the second. They want a meeting with us on the second, so
well, we have to meet with Donna first, cause we have to find out first what the software does.
Yeah.
So that's gonna have to be the first thing, cause we can say POs, but the PO system might not be a module we bought, who knows?
It's well, the point is you have to track commitments. Whether or not you actually issue a PO, you still need to track your commitments, right?
Right.
That's the main point. And I think the policy can be written in such a way that it's adaptable to purchase orders or commitment tracking or something.
Cause then you know what your open POs are.
Yeah, but
Right.
if we don't have the ability for POs,
Right, it
keep track
doesn't.
of commitments, how do we keep track of commitments? Who's responsible for those commitments, all those kinds of things.
So, if I may, my request for the September 2nd meeting with regards to the financial policies was specific to the new accounts that were established for the schools, for the money that we get from the district, was making sure that those are included in financial policies and how we suggest that they get funded with the money from the school.
It's not suggest, the town voted that
Yes.
that's how it goes.
Yes, but making sure that that gets added to the financial policies so that we have that in there. So this other secondary financial
it's
policy.
just come up.
Exactly, so I don't know if we wanna, if we have enough information to discuss that, or at least start a discussion on the second, then that's fine, if you wanna let me know. Otherwise.
Do we have a set of existing
Financial
policies and procedures?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Ludwig, they're on the website, on the budget and
Okay.
finance page.
That's this thing.
No,
No.
they were the ones that you guys adopted last year.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the financial policies, that's not the,
There's,
I think what we're asking is it to have the conversation about all the other stuff? Are there policies for all the other stuff?
Oh, yeah, so
Yes.
that's what I don't know, I haven't been through all of those with a fine tooth comb, but that's what I'm saying is that topic was not part of my original
Yeah.
intent for the September 2nd joint discussion, so
Understood.
if
But
we
I
wanna
think
let
it's
that
clear that
marinate, yeah.
I think it would be a good move to just level set that and see
Yes.
what we have and where the gaps are.
So the September 2nd, again, was just limited to the school discussion, the
Sure.
account discussion, and then also, the town council. I wanted, since if you're, kill two birds with one stone, just talk about the town council policy and what, potential changes we could make to make sure
But
that
I thought there wasn't a town council policy.
there is.
There is, but stemming from what you guys had.
No, I thought there wasn't a town council policy,
They
cause I know
found
there
one.
is.
Oh.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, cause that was the thing, I know I asked, I'm like, well, no, I just, so I just,
Alright, so we still didn't finish discussing the Association of Town Finance Committee dues.
Are we gonna pay that little Jim?
Reserve fund?
I mean, that's my only thing is, cause then that means we don't have access to all that training. And they do webinars, they have the town finance committee,
I'm sure they'll help us.
they
if
have the
we questions.
manuals, they have the manuals.
Is there a need to pay it right this second?
Well, we
Can
could pay
we
it by,
kick that?
we could pay it by our, whenever we have our next meeting, we could have a transfer from the reserve account at that point.
Right, and I think, we've been very cautious, and that I think especially with this particular item benefiting us, it would be the right move to do the same thing, to just sort of, if we can, let's kick it one meeting. I know it's only $200, it's a little largely symbolic, I know, but
I agree.
we should practice what we preach, right? So.
No, I agree.
absolutely.
No, that's
And,
fine.
and I guess that's the other part is by having somebody from the finance committee chair involved in hiring the new town administrator, we can see how collaborative they are and explain some of the issues. And because in the past, we've had good ones and we've had some,
And then we get this new policy in the middle of them,
yeah, I mean,
or new
in
bylaw.
the grand scheme of things, it's always been pretty collaborative. I mean, even before we had a town administrator, it was always collaborative between the select board and the finance committee before we had a town administrator.
Does anyone have any other agendas that nobody knew about within the last 48 hours?
Yeah, I guess I wanna ask, and I didn't have a chance to call the town clerk's office today, is there a reason why we can't post our meeting and not post our agenda for 48 hours? So at least people know that, so it says February, it says July 17th, there's a finance committee meeting. And we don't have an agenda posted, but at least they know that there's a finance committee meeting.
yeah, I think you can do that, because uploading the agenda is like the second step in the process, so I don't see why we can't do that.
Just because if I forget, I go there and I can't see it for 48 hours, and that doesn't usually help me when I'm trying to schedule my week, so that's
Yeah,
the
cause I
thing.
think what we can do is add it to the calendar and not
Right.
necessarily the agenda center, and then
Exactly.
that will upload to the module.
And then at least, so after tonight, we, by Monday, Tuesday, it gets added to the calendar for the next one, and then we just add the agenda for later.
So I can do that step because it's not involving posting the agenda, so when
Right.
we schedule a meeting, I'll just automatically go in and add it to the calendar on the website.
Great,
Does that
and
sound
then
like
the
a plan?
posting of the agenda is done by the town clerk's office.
That'll still be done by them, yep,
I wasn't sure what our limitations were.
yep.
So, just so we're all on the same page, the takeaways from tonight, going through the list here is, we gave the reserve fund transfer. The finance committee bylaw, we read it, everybody has some suggestions, and we all know what it says now, we understand that. The town administrator search process, we asked to be involved in that if at any way possible. We're going to, on the water and sewer enterprise accounts, what was the action on that, what were we gonna,
Ask Donna to come to a meeting,
the next meeting?
next meeting with Chris, so that we can
Were,
ask.
were you able to look at the table that I had put together?
We did.
Okay,
And when you weren't here, we're not, I think the conclusion was we weren't sure how it was gonna work, but we might be able to answer a lot of those questions if we have those two here.
okay,
Sense?
great.
And
Sorry
that
for
would
being
be-
in and out.
And that would be the first article, that would be the first item on the agenda, so that way they can come in and then go home.
Okay. The water and sewage enterprise accounts. The physical part of it, when they give us that, then we can draw a conclusion. Other than that, we're kinda,
Right, so if we talk with them, we'll get
yes, but I
And
mean,
then-
where I'm
then they
going with
can
this is,
understand, yeah.
I'm just trying to finish, yep. Upcoming budget process, I think we've talked with the acting town administrator and told him the way it goes. He has the finance committee bylaw, right, so he can review that.
He was going to work up a revision with the best numbers we have now.
Starting of this
Starting,
year and
right.
moving forward. David, are you still on with us?
Yep.
Okay,
It says town of Rutland, that was
That's
him.
us.
That's
No,
us.
that's
That's
us.
us.
okay, just
Oh,
going,
Darren, we were also gonna reach out to the town of Paxton to see if we can connect with their finance committee.
yeah,
Ted and I were
Monday
gonna
we'll do
reach
that,
out to,
if we
yeah.
I can do that. Do you know Mark Love from Paxton?
I might, I don't know,
He's the chair over there.
we can
Is
ask.
he a CPA?
I think he is, I think he did my taxes a very long time ago.
Yeah,
You CPAs don't know each other.
I'm not a CPA.
No, we're not CPAs.
Oh, you're smarter than that.
No.
Okay. The dues, if we could do a reserve fund transfer
Do you want me to
request.
fill out a form for the
Yes,
next time?
please,
Okay.
for the next meeting, which we're gonna, hopefully someone's gonna give us a date. And on that date, one of our agenda items will be, we're all gonna, the financial people will come up with some policies that will help us get to the next stage.
Are all the members available if we did the September 2nd meeting as a joint?
Yes, but I
Think
think we wanna meet earlier than that, don't we?
Oh, yeah, no, I know, I just wanted to make a note for myself to post a joint agenda if everybody can make it that night.
And what night is the week is that?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's a
Oh,
Tuesday
Tuesday
because of the
after Labor Day.
holiday,
Oh,
Monday's
it's
Labor
the day
Day.
after
Labor Day,
Labor Day.
yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that date.
That's fine.
Ludwig and Carol, you guys?
You
good?
said September 2nd?
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right,
it's a Tuesday, should be okay.
and does anyone have a suggestion for the next meeting? Or that we'd like to do between now and September 2nd to come up with some of these, round our things out. Karen? Well, throw a date, you're looking at your calendar.
August 7th? Or do you guys wanna do it the 31st? Do we wanna do it every 2 weeks, or do we wanna stretch it a little bit because it's the summer?
I think stretching it a little bit.
How about August 7th? It's a Thursday night.
It's okay.
I'll be traveling, but and not available to go.
You want us to move to the 14th?
I mean, personally, I'd go with the 31st because
Okay.
I'd like to know what that poop show or emails is showing us by then.
Sure,
And see if we have any resolve to some of that.
sure.
I'm okay with that.
That sounds good.
That work for you, Ludwig?
31st,
31st, got it, yeah.
and then that'll give us a couple days before the meeting with the selectmen.
No, that's a
Once
month.
a month.
Oh, that's a whole month, oh, go,
That's July 31st.
yes,
Yes.
yeah, July 3rd, not August 31st, I was speaking. All right,
Time's going
Rush
fast.
the summer.
Not quite that.
I wanted the summer kid.
Don't rush the summer.
All right. Is there anything else to come before us? And I appreciate everybody's input and insight tonight, guys. I think we're moving in the right direction. Motion to adjourn, anybody?
So moved. Second.
You never have a problem getting a first or second on that one.
Thanks, Ludwig, we
Oh, we have to
appreciate it.
take it by roll
Oh, we
call,
have to
though,
take
we
it
still
by
have to
roll
do it by
call.
roll call.
Oh, wait, I
Oh,
should
we-
just hang up
Oh,
and then that way
Ludwig's
don't.
fade.
I'll just hang up.
We do.
Haber, aye.
Karen,
Narwhal die.
Ted,
Purcell, aye.
Benoit, aye.
Winika, aye.
Ludwig,
I said it, Haber, aye.
okay, Ross, aye. Perfect, thank you.